Don't leave me hanging. It's go time.
Hey everybody, welcome to Game 3 in a best of 3 series being played between IM.NesTea, that's Incredible Miracle NesTea, the South Korean pro team. He is the light blue Zerg down on the bottom spawn of Shattered Temple at Blizzcon 2011, and up here on the top spawn, it's the guy who builds 1,000,000 ravens and just doesn't care. It is imbaFXO.BratOK. He's the yellow Terran, and he is pretty crazy good based off of that last game on Shakira's Plateau. Even NesTea was like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I can't build Corruptors or Broodlords, I can't build Mutalisks, I can't build Roaches because they just get destroyed by tanks. This is really abusive, so I'm really curious if BratOK, after playing a 22-minute Game 1 and a 40-minute Game 2, is going to be trying to do some of the same stuff here in the third game, or if it's going to just be like cheese, like if NesTea 9 pools, in which he can't because he already passed 9 supply, but if NesTea were to do something cheesy, maybe a quick Roach Rush or something like that, and try to seal the game early, would BratOK be able to defend it? Both games so far have just been pretty good macro games. The one on Antigua Shipyard had 10 Ultralisks to end the game. BratOK's game on Shakira's Plateau had something like 27 Ravens to be able to end the game, so these have been actually really insane games so far, and BratOK actually just doing some very standard stuff so far. Should be dropping a refinery soon. If he doesn't drop the refinery, then we'll be like, oh, he's doing something crazy. There's the refinery, though. NesTea should be dropping an expansione, as he tends to do here, with his first 300 minerals right there at 15 supply. Next should come that extractor and spawning pool, just because it seems that he really likes that build order, at least in this series against imbaFXO.BratOK, who hails from Russia, by the way. And he's teammates with imbaFXO.Strelok, who is another just super awesome player who was at IEM New York earlier this month. He was at IPL 3 earlier this month. Also a really chill guy. He's actually super cool to hang out with, but it seems like all those Ukrainian and Russian players are just like super badasses. Like, we've got White Rod, Demaga, BratOK, Strelok, all really cool guys. BratOK is a little creepy looking, but he's actually such a good player, and he's really relaxed in person, so sorry I said that. But everyone has been really awesome from that Eastern Europe / Russia area. But either way, we do have a game unfolding here a little bit. There's that extractor and spawning pool like we saw. The first 2 games, BratOK back at home, not doing anything surprising either. He is actually going to drop a factory before doing any kind of command center expansion business. So BratOK lifting off that barracks, opening up his wall wide open. Not sure what that's about. Maybe he'll drop another supply depot there like we saw in one of those other games. He is sending his first Marine across. I don't think he's going to be able to get a bunker up. NesTea is just a little bit too quick with those drones, and he does have... Oh man, he is actually going to risk the bunker, even though it's way out of range of the Satry. He's just going to try and score some drone kills and stuff like that. I don't really know if this is going to be worth it, though. He's only sending 1 Marine at a time. Basically, trying to get a feel, perhaps, if NesTea is going to be doing some sort of big Roach Rush. This is going to force him to build Lings instead of drones. NesTea already trying to do a little bit of a counterattack, or at least get some intel, while BratOK is setting up shop outside of his natural. If this forces NesTea to build spine crawlers, if it forces him to build any extra queens or zerglings, then it is actually changing the pace of the game toward positive manipulation there for BratOK. You can't just let him build drone forever and ever. BratOK does have an SCV locked out of his own base after he finished that supply depot. He's unable to get back in to start mining minerals. Is a starport ever going to come up? This is my next curious question here from Mr. BratOK. Is he going to throw up another refinery, and get that starport up, or is he just going to continue making... he's got a command center dropped right now, so he's going to try to expand at an even pace with his Zerg opponent. A couple of Hellions allow that SCV to return home. Still 1 Zergling here for NesTea to keep an eye on things. This is the very valuable scouting Zergling that NesTea is using to gather intel, tell him exactly when BratOK expands, exactly when his giant army moves out. Even though he doesn't have a giant army yet, he very well could soon. 2 Hellions already at the Zellinga Tower, 2 more popping out, and the Ling actually did get a peek at them. Oh, but he's going to be unable to actually get into the main thanks to those Marines and Hellions. NesTea is well aware that Hellions are on the way. He's already got a spine crawler in position. He's got his queen chilling near the natural. And another one up there at the main. Is BratOK going to wait for Hellions number 5 and 6? We saw the same sort of maneuver here in the first game, where he built 6 Hellions but didn't actually get much done with them. He got repelled pretty easily by IM.NesTea. Looks like the Spinecrawler is going to get 1 jab, 2 jabs, 3 jabs. He's trying to kill some drones. He's not going to get any of them. Oh, the Spinecrawler got so many jabs and he didn't kill any drones. He should have waited for 5 and 6 so that he could have tried to dive the left side perhaps. And kill some of those drones, but we do have 2 queens down here and a Spinecrawler and an evolution chamber blocking that ramp a little bit so the Spinecrawler can get some extra hits. So BratOK may not be able to do really anything with these Hellions for the time being. Torching another Ling there, I'm not sure even why that Ling was there, but IM.NesTea is going to try and get a peek into BratOK's main here with this Overlord. He's going to see the command center being built, actually the orbital command being flipped over at the moment. We do have a barracks, another barracks actually, 3 barracks in total, and the factory adding on a reactor. Is he ever going to get that friggin' starport to get some 2 medevacs at a time to support all these Marines that he seems to be building? I'm really curious if he's going to go MMM. Actually, he is researching Stimpack pretty quickly. Combat Shield's probably going to be the next thing that he gets. But if a starport comes up, I think he could add on 2-3 more barracks after dropping this expansion. So the orbital command is done. He's using it to just build SCVs for the time being. Looks like they do have a shorter return path here than they do to the actual main, which is a little bit of an optical illusion, I think. If they were to be mining from this side, they would actually return it to that orbital. So I think he might actually be a little inefficient by doing that. But 4 Marines walking around with attack move, looking for any Zerglings that might have been hiding out. Finally, the orbital is going to float on over to that natural. IM.NesTea, on the other hand, he's got his Spire coming up. That lair did get finished, and he is actually building a Spinecrawler as well as a Macro Hatch as well in his base. So this is something we saw in the first game, I believe. He got Macro Hatch up pretty quick before taking that third. No, actually, it was in fact, Shakur's Plateau. He took his natural, built a Macro Hatch, and then went to those 3rd and 4th and 5th bases a little later on. Another refinery coming up here for BratOK. He is working off of 2 already. Starport did finally get finished, so now he can crank out those medevacs. Well, he can't crank them out because he's a little bit mineral blocked at the moment, but soon he will be able to crank them out and start doing drops all over the place, perhaps. That Spire is going to be done soon, though, and the Baneling Nest. So IM.NesTea actually reverting to a much more common, much more familiar Baneling, Speedling, and Mutalisk composition against Terran. It's really good against Tank Marine. BratOK has shown that he's already got a couple of factories, or at least 1 factory, cranking out those Hellions, so tanks are a distinct possibility. Spire's going to be done here soon. Mutalisks are going to be able to wreck any tanks that happen to be caught out of position, any medevacs that might be doing some drops later on. Great to have that air superiority. It looks like IM.NesTea really wants to take this corner base here all the way in the bottom right as well eventually. BratOK already building his command center. Of course, he can just float over with an SCV inside and then flip it over to an orbital. It doesn't even have to break down his destructible rocks if he doesn't want to. Lots of Marines coming down for BratOK. He's at 1-0 upgrades. He's got combat shields and stim. He's getting +1 armor on the way as well now. Scan goes down, trying to kill some of these creep tumors. He is going to be able to nab 3 of them before he sees those Banelings start to waddle in. That's actually a lot of Banelings there for this force that BratOK has. He's going to have to be very, very quick with his dropship micro, his medevac micro, if he's going to keep all his Marines safe from those many, many Banelings. Could be difficult, but destructible rocks are finally chewed all the way through by those Lings. He can send a drone over there and start to expand again if he feels the need. He probably does feel the need. He actually probably feels the need for some more gas as well. That is going to be his limiting factor now as he starts to begin building all these Mutalisks. 12 drones on the way, wow. And he's trying to take the gold base, getting more destructible rocks taken down. Hatchery going up in the bottom right corner. Looks like 5 mutas did actually poke their heads in. I don't see too much damage done aside from a single SCV. Missile turret was 0 kills. Didn't miss too much, it looks like. Hellions dropping another scan to try and kill some creep tumors, but the 2 Mutalisks have found them off on their own. Actually, how many mutas are total? We have 7 Mutalisks against quite a lot of stimmable 1-1 Marines here. Tanks, medevacs, SCVs, and an armory coming up now. Wonder if he's going to start investing in Thors after seeing those Banelings come into his base a couple of times. Here they are, back on another mission. We'll see what they're able to destroy on their raid. What is left here? We just have 6 Hellions here, not even Blue Flames, just chilling. We got +2 mech, +2 bio weapons on the way. We got siege tech and +1 mech weapons, all on the way. Hellions diving into the space over here, just taking a peek around. Not going to find anything too interesting. Could actually go for these destructible rocks, but chooses not to. He's going to leave 1 Hellion there just in case IM.NesTea does show up with a drone. Mutalisks finding the gold base as it's being constructed, actually taking out that turret before it even has a chance to get built. But the orbital command was indeed for the gold gold base and not for that corner expansion. Are these mutas going to try and take out the destructible rocks? No, they're just going to stick around and try to pester BratOK's mineral lines. It looks like he may actually score some SCV kills. The Marines are a little bit out of position. There's no turrets up. He should have left the Marines off around the edges, but actually a little bit of an oversight there. Mule getting pulled off the line there, so you never want a gold mule to be pulled off the line for any reason. But missile turret coming up now. It looks like, oh, these Hellions are going to find a gift of Hellions. Oh my goodness, they're actually, the Mutalisks, excuse me, are going to find a gift of Hellions. They kill one, nearly kill 2 or 3 more there. There are 2 Marines just chilling at the Zelnaka Tower. They're both going to get taken out extremely quickly. So NesTea getting lots of little pickups here throughout this game. You can see units killed. BratOK has slightly more, but NesTea has 4 workers killed, and just 1 of his own has been lost. He's at 94 Harvesters already. 94 Harvesters by 14.5 minutes off of 4 bases and a macro hatch. That is just incredible stuff. Weapons across the board still getting researched. A couple of SCVs, lots of Marines, and another factory and 3 barracks being planted now. Another command center on the way for BratOK as well. NesTea just rolling those upgrades, flyer attacks, ground armor, more mutas, more lings, spine crawlers, and of course those extractors are going to be so nice to help continue building mutalisks if he wants to go that route. Could also drop an infestation pit here soon, get up to hive tech, and start cranking out those broodlords. BratOK does seem to be quite a bit behind. He's 37 supply underneath NesTea right now. His tech doesn't really seem to be too far along. Hasn't built any Thors or anything like that, just Tank Marine Medevac at this point, and Baneling Muta Speedling is just such a good counter to that. I'm really curious why BratOK hasn't switched it up a little bit, at least started to get some Vikings out in the air. If, you know, NesTea actually ran right back in here and found nothing but Marines and Vikings, he would be in pretty bad shape with all those mutas that he's already got. Infestation Pit is going to be done here soon. He can start working toward that Greater Spire, but this is a big, big band of Mutalisks. He's already got 19 of them. Against only 1 turret, that thing's going to be taken out in just 1.5 volleys, and now all these SCVs are fodder. Big stim from BratOK. Going to run up here and try to catch these guys. They're going to try and take out the engineering bay while +3 weapons are being researched. It looks like he is easily going to be able to take out that engineering bay. Starts doing some work on the armory as well, but when the SCVs come over to repair, he realizes those are the better targets. He is actually going to fly over a couple of turrets and lose a handful of mutalisks, but he did get some good pickups there. BratOK actually did a drop over here, it looks like, and oh no, NesTea's entire ground force is here, and the mutas coming in from behind means that that is going to be totally shut down. Lots of production structures kind of strewn about the place here for BratOK. He's going to be at 6 barracks, looks like just 2 factories and 1 starport still for BratOK, getting another command center built. That other one went to the top left corner here, so we could try to expand. NesTea expanding as well. That's going to put him on 5 bases. Man, he's going to be mined out at his main and at his natural pretty soon. That hive is coming along like we talked about earlier, and the upgrades have just basically stopped for BratOK. He had to get another engineering base started to get those +3 weapons. He could actually research more armor as well, but he's not doing it for some reason. Ground Carapace level 2 coming for NesTea, 5 infestors, and that hive going to be complete in just a moment. 2 more hatches. I don't even know where he's building hatches anymore. Here's another one way off the left side of the base, of the map, excuse me. Lots of Marines here with their 2-1 upgrades. Tanks sitting at 1-0 upgrades. 25 Banelings morphing right now. Where are those little Banelings at? Here they are, and a huge clump. And NesTea just going to roll right through all of this with his giant Mutalisk cloud. This is going to be very interesting. Look at the stagger of these siege tanks, and Marines are going to have to be able to cover all that area when the Banelings start to roll in. So let's see how many times both players have dealt with this scenario. I'm sure BratOK and NesTea have both done their share of this strategy. More Corruptors being built now as the Greater Spire morphs, so Brood Lords, excuse me, are going to be on the way soon. BratOK hiding his Marines off in the bushes there, actually preventing the Mutalisks from coming in to try and damage these tanks. But check this out, while the units are out in the field killing Spine Crawlers and Queens. Oh, big Baneling Blast about to come in. Oh my goodness, he's going to lose all of those. He just was not paying attention. So many Banelings just crashed in there, and Lings and Banelings actually going to crash into this orbital as well. The gold pace is most likely going to go down here. All these SCVs getting killed off. NesTea doesn't even care about the orbital. He just wants to kill all those workers. Just ruthless. The orbital does lift off. He's also counterattacking here in the main mineral line with his big flock of mutas. This is the most interesting MMM versus Baneling Ling muta. NesTea just not even choosing to do the shredder while these siege tanks are in the middle. They're not hurting him, so he may as well use all his units to go attack the economy of BratOK, and he has killed quite a lot of stuff. 53 workers he's killed so far. So BratOK, expecting the Zergling, Baneling, Muta Shredder to go through all of his tank line in the middle, instead went to 3 different bases and just started killing stuff. BratOK did actually take out the gold base and this side base, but it looks like NesTea is a little bit better off with 84 harvesters than BratOK, left with only 30. More upgrades starting to roll in now, but could it be too little too late? These Banelings are sitting at 2-2 with centrifugal hooks. All these drones being chased off. It looks like BratOK did discover this base off to the left side and took it out, but just so much going on right now, and Broodlords have hit the field. There are no Vikings here, only a handful of Marines, so if the Broodlords take their positioning back behind these Infestors, big Fungals and Spinecrawlers are going to do all the work for them. Lings and Banelings still rolling in a couple at a time. All these tanks are forced to uproot and leave when the Broodlords show up. There's not enough anti-air here. These Broodlings, Banelings, and Speedlings alone are going to be enough to take out pretty much everything. I cannot believe how crazy this is. BratOK left with almost nothing. Let's look at that supply, 140 against 169. It's kind of amazing to think he has that much supply after losing so much. Finally, the last of the Marines show up. They are going to be able to take out these Broodlords. Check out the stutter step micro here. NesTea trying to stutter step micro his Broodlords. He is actually doing it. I say try, but he's actually doing it, and he is actually going to take out the last of those bio units. Oh my goodness. So 3 Broodlords still in the air, 4 tanks just sitting here undefended. 1 Broodlord is going to find them, and I'm sure BratOK's going to be able to pull them away, but yeah, there's BratOK actually retreating. Broodlords are so slow, he's not going to be able to keep up there. There's 2 medevacs off to the right side. The Muta Cloud still doing its work here, taking out a medevac full of Marines before they can even land. There's no minerals left in the main, not a whole lot left in the natural or the third. Well, there's plenty left, but there's just not a lot of SCVs mining. 31 SCVs against 74 drones. All these tanks, Marauders, and Marines really need to get some damage done here. 3-2 upgrades, 2-0 for the tanks against 2-2 upgrades for NesTea. Soon he's going to be at 3-3 as well, and having flyer armor in just a moment. He's already got +2 flying attack damage as well. So all these Mutalisks and Broodlords, there's no Ravens on the field to actually defend against this like BratOK did in that second game on Shakura's Plateau. So he just did not have the right infrastructure. He went for MMM and is just now starting to make some Vikings to help out. Adrenal Glands and 3-3 upgrades all coming up. NesTea has so many Zerglings right now. He's got 95 Zerglings on the field that are going to benefit from all 3 of those upgrades. More Corruptors being made now to eventually turn into Broodlords. You can see he's gas blocked. NesTea is just so good at spending. He constantly has something to spend because he does so many attacks and stuff that keep his supply at a level where he can remax. Look at that. Another drop getting picked off. BratOK has another drop coming over here. Let's see if NesTea is already responding to it somehow. I don't know how he guessed that this was going to happen. Just maybe after picking off that medevac, he knew the BratOK was going to be trying to do something else fishy, so BratOK's going to fly right over a sea of Banelings and Speedlings. Of course, he's not going to drop it right in front of them. NesTea, if he actually responds all the way around to this 1-8 Marine drop, that's going to be very, very interesting. Broodlords actually snuck their way over to the left side. They're going to get taken out by a handful of Vikings. This single drop from BratOK, he says, oh, no way, I saw all those Lings. Mutas are going to be able to clean up all this, though, by themselves if they need to. So there they go. 2 Mutalisks do get popped in the transfer, but he does actually manage to take out everything. 1 Marauder trying to kill a hatch by itself. Not going to happen. 4 Corruptors still up here for NesTea, and here comes the giant sea of Zerglings. Adrenal Glands finish in about 7 seconds. BratOK at a 50 supply disadvantage, and a 30-ish supply harvester disadvantage. Here come the Lings, here come the Banelings, here come the Mutalisks. Vikings actually fighting head-on against those Mutas while the Banelings continue to splash into all these Marines and Marauders. There's not a whole lot left. Planetary Fortress is going to be the stopping point here for NesTea as he just continues to make more and more units. 44 Zerglings and 5 Broodlords in production right now. Ground Carapace level 3 about to finish. Flyer Armor level 2 about to finish, actually just getting started, but gonna be done here sooner or later. Lings running into the Planetary Fortress. Of course, they realize that's not going to be viable, so the Mutas come in and take over instead. Cancelled Command Center, lost him 100 minerals. Still no turrets at the gold base, and there are still some minerals there. Free SCVs for the picking, and NesTea's going to benefit greatly from that. He's also moving up 5 Broodlords sneakily up the left side of the map, outside of the range of that sensor tower. BratOK actually doing a drop over on this base that doesn't actually have anything working at it, so he's going to have big problems back at home when he doesn't have those Marines able to help defend against this massive wave of air units. Broodling's just picking apart these SCVs and mules before headed over to the Planetary Fortress. He knows that if he just destroys the workers, he will be fine. Oh my goodness, Banelings and Speedlings, as well as Infestors dropping Fungals on all these bio units. How many Mutas are left? No no mutas are left. These Broodlords are actually undefended now. There's a single drone that somehow came along for the ride, but the Broodlords are going to get picked off here by those remaining Marines, and even the drone left with 20 HP. I'm not even sure how that drone is surviving. He's attacking. He's using the drone to help defend his Broodlords. Oh my goodness, the sea of Speedlings have arrived. These are the 44 Lings we saw earlier, and NesTea just ran all the way across the map with them, and that drone is still alive. I have him highlighted, 27 health. He just survived that whole encounter because the Lings were able to show up in time, and he's still just chilling. There's a single Broodlord here hanging out with him, keeping him company, while the rest of these Lings try to get into the siege tank line. It's going to be a little bit difficult, so he's going to have to wait for the second force to approach from the bottom side while he attacks from the left side. BratOK still trying to be active with these drops. It's actually incredible how he's been able to keep doing this the whole time. Not sure how successful everything has been. I mean, he did take out this hatch, but it wasn't really doing a whole lot. Not the most beneficial target for him anyway. This Broodlord is going to get taken out by BratOK. BratOK's going to have to figure out something to get mining again somewhere else. He's going to pick off a couple of drones here and there, but NesTea really only has to respond with a couple of units at a time to keep these hatches up and running. He's got 72 harvesters with equal income in minerals, but way more gas income that's going to allow him. He could build a ton of Mutalisks right now. The only issue is that he's supply capped because of all these Lings. So eventually NesTea can just move the Lings into this unsieged tank line, lose a ton of Lings, build something like 20 Mutalisks, and then just crash in once again. He's building 37 Banelings instead, actually. Instead of taking my Mutalisk idea, he's just making so many Banelings. So many Banelings! These Lings and Banelings really don't want those Marines to continue dropping, but he doesn't have any mutas on the field anymore to be able to stop that. No Mutalisks at all, actually. 117 Lings! 117 is actually my favorite number, so this should be interesting. 117 Lings from NesTea. Let's see these drones actually getting fed into the tank line there. He's actually rebuilding 3 drones, so it's not even a sacrifice. I'm not sure what was going on there. Vikings moving forward a little bit to take some pokes at these Broodlords, but you have to realize BratOK is so far behind right now just in harvester count that this game is going to be incredibly difficult to be able to come back from. There's nothing in the main right now. He's got no real drops going. He's got a single medevac with just 2 units in it, and NesTea is fully aware of it, as you can tell by this giant snake of Zerglings and Speedlings and Festers and Queens, all with full energy. We have 4 Broodlords in the air with crazy good upgrades, 2-2 upgrades, 3-3 on all the ground units, as well as those adrenal glands. So this tank line is, I have a feeling, not long for this world. 4 Vikings against 4 Broodlords. Broodlords are going to get things started here, dropping Broodlings for the tanks to splash at, and the Lings just approach from all sides. We have Banelings crashing into everything, Infestor Baneling on the right side, Ling Baneling on the left side, taking out all the tanks. The Vikings, they're just going to be totally ignored as those Lings and Banelings continue to roll up here. Is he going to blow up the planetary fortress with those Banelings? He definitely has enough. Is he going to go for it? No, not quite just yet. I still got to deal with these Vikings. Are the Queens going to just pick off the Vikings one by one? He certainly could do it. NesTea down to 141 supply, but BratOK down to only 67. The Vikings are going to get taken out by fungal growth and those Queens. BratOK trying to drop again, killing just a couple of drones and an extractor. Not a huge deal. Speedlings running up both sides, actually preventing mining from the top right, and about to take off an add-on. Planetary Fortress getting its pay in. 41 kills so far, 43. NesTea may not even have to kill this Planetary Fortress. He just ran right past it into the mineral line. There's nothing mining in here, of course, but if he is able to take out some production structures, that'll be pretty good. All the Banelings rolling right past the Planetary Fortress. Oh my goodness, taking out 4 Banelings at a time, that Planetary Fortress, and killing just a couple of SCVs and Marines. Here come the last little forces of BratOK. These are all the Marines he's really got left. Banelings crashing in, killing that stuff off, and of course, if you watch the production tab, there's absolutely nothing here for BratOK. He's got 33 minerals, not going up at all, 0 income, 9 SCVs, and NesTea with plenty of bases still mining, going to continue to just crush face. Actually, he's only got 1 mining base, but he doesn't really need any more. These Broodlords are unaccounted for, Queens on the low ground, Lings helping out as well. BratOK with just 6 supply. Let's take his vision. I'm not even sure what he's doing still.
Is under attack.
Trying to get mining at a base. Okay, yeah, that's the GG. So BratOK essentially had nothing available to him. He had no money, he had no real workers. Anywhere he was going to try and start mining was not going to work out. Eventually all these buildings would have been whittled down by the remaining forces of NesTea, not to mention all those Zerglings. And we'll take off BratOK vision because those red things are freaking me out. Stop. Stop. Red things. Red things, stop. Minimap. Oh my god. Anyway. Incredible Miracle NesTea is going to be the winner of this series. He wins it 2-1, and he is going to move on to the next round. Man, even when I take NesTea's vision, those attack things stay there. That's just incredible. Anyway, yeah, NesTea is going to move on to the next round of the BlizzCon 2011 StarCraft 2 tournament with tons and tons of money in that prize pool. BratOK just played some excellent games. That last one had a little bit of an anticlimactic end, but games 1 and 2 were both really incredible. BratOK was so close to actually defeating Incredible Miracle NesTea in that first game, and if they had played the exact same second game, he would have been the one moving on into round 2. But what a great series. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. I'll be back with more StarCraft casts very, very soon. So thanks for watching. Also keep an eye out for any giveaways that'll be showing up here in the near future.